Well, Michael Jackson to kick off. Can't go wrong with MJ ever. So thank you, co-host, for helping with the waiting room. For anyone who's shown up slightly tardy, I appreciate that. And we're going to dig in. The topic this morning is going to be on dropping down. Now, I know I'm going to do a quick review from yesterday for those, for the previous workshop as far as closing goes. But we're going to spend majority of our time today talking about how to drop down, how to present all the smaller options dropping down. So we're going to hit on a couple of these core fundamentals underneath the umbrella of dropping down. So the first fundamental of dropping down is making sure that you know how to close properly. So as far as presenting the price properly is a key ingredient to dropping down. So if you remember from the closing workshop, this is how you present the price properly. Before you ever give a price of Cutco, you always want to review, number one, what am I getting in my set? Show them exactly what they're getting, because a confused mind is going to say, no, you want to make sure you show them exactly what they're getting. Get 7 knives, 2 forks, a spatula, the block, the cutting board, the sharpener, right? You get the basic set along with the 3 customer requested tools, the super shears, you get the larger block, 3 cutting board sharpener, right? So you want to be able to know, you want to make sure the customer knows what's in the set. Then number 2 is you compare. Instead of it being $4,000, instead of it being $3,435, it's only. So anytime you present a price, you always do some sort of comparison. I don't care if it's a starter set. Miss Jones, a starter set, instead of it being like $1,300 like the homemaker, the starter set's only $500. So you always want to give some sort of comparison every time you give a price. Number 3, after you give the price, you always show them the 5-pay and weekly price. I would make sure that is visual. You want to make at least the 5-pay visual, but ideally both of them are visual, meaning they write it down or you use the whiteboard on the screen so they see the visual. Then you give them the incentive of free stuff. Now, if you watch my demo, I don't call it free stuff. I call it, I'm going to buy you this if you do it today. If you do it today, I'm going to buy this for you, right? Because it costs me money. So I'm going to buy it for them. It's not free. It's free for them, but it's not free for me. So I'm going to buy this for you if you do it today because of my goals. And then you confidently ask, so what do you think? Does that work for you? Smile and nod. So what do you think? Does that work for you? Smile and nod. So every time you present a price, every single time you are closing an order, every time you ask, this is the process every time you ask. Every time you ask, okay? So that's under the umbrella of closing. Under the umbrella of closing. What we're going to hit on today is we're going to go to the reaction of the no or unsure. We're going to show you how to transition, and we're going to show you how to use their responses on how to show the next option. That's what we're going to go through today. And these are fundamentals. Doesn't matter how large or how small you're showing. So if you're showing them a $7,000 package or if you're showing them a $700 package, the philosophy is going to be the exact same. So I'm going to show you philosophy, but I'm also going to show you you could use it for the smaller packages. I'm going to show you how you can use it for the larger packages. It doesn't matter. But I do encourage you to understand the philosophy so you can use this for the larger packages, so that way you can position yourself to have larger average orders, which is the intent of this push. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you the fundamentals, and then we'll show you the website with the presentation. So first reaction is smile and nod, real simple. 3 to 5 second pause, respond with no problem, and then ask a question. You saw me do this. If you watch my demo, you'll see me do this. I don't care if it's on Zoom. Just sit. Hey, smile. Hey, no problem. No problem. It's a pretty good deal though, right? That's a yes question. Does everyone see? So it's no problem. No problem. You did like Cutco though, right? That's a yes question, right? So it's like, you did like Cutco though, right? Or that's a pretty good deal, right? It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see how much better of a value this is than the competitor, isn't it? These are a couple of examples of yes questions. Do you see? You just want you have like a drop-down menu of a couple of yes questions. It's like, you did like Cutco though, right? Or it's kind of cool to see what of a good deal like we could offer. Isn't that kind of cool? Isn't it cool to see how much better of a value this is than going to like Wusthof or Shun? right? So those are a couple of a couple of go-to yes questions. But that is exactly how you respond to the no. Do not do this. Here's what you don't want to do. Hey, Ms. Jones, do you want to get that today? No, we got the roof. No, no problem. I know. Believe me, I know. It's tough out there. COVID and man, it's people are broke. I get it. Did you at least want to get something? Don't do that shit ever. That's like what not to do. Okay. Here's what you do. Again, I'll demonstrate. So do you want to go and get that set today? Get your free gift? I'll buy that for you today. Hey, no problem. No problem. You did like Huggo though, right? Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool to see what a good deal like is, how much of a better value this is compared to like Wusthof and Shun, right? Boom. You can even go with the triple yes. Yes, yes, yes. The purpose of this, the psychology of this is I want my customer to go from a no frame of mind to a yes frame of mind. No, I'm not buying anything to yes, this stuff is really cool. Yes, this is a really good deal. So I'm going to ask questions that require them to shift their paradigm from more of a the negative, I guess you'd say. No is not a negative, but what's the opposite of affirmative? What would you say is the opposite of affirmative? Is that negative or is there a different word? I don't know. But anyway, you can hit me up in the chat if you want to correct me on anything. All right. So frame their mind into the transition. Then after you transition, after you ask the yes question, here's a couple of really good transitional questions. These are some of my favorite transitional questions. So did you like Huggo? That's one I already showed you, right? After that's a good yes question. It's like, what would you like most about it? That's a great transitional question. Why? Because that question allows them to build value. Now, here's the thing you need to make sure that you're emphasizing. Ready? I don't want my customer to say, I really like the spatula spreader. That's not the question. It's not, what was your favorite part of the set? What's not your, it's what'd you like most about Cutco? Is it like the guarantee, the quality, the craftsmanship? What'd you like most about it? So if you need to, you could kind of frame the question a little bit. What'd you like most about it? Was it like made in America made, or the quality, or the guarantee, or, what do you think? What'd you like most about everything today? And what they're going to do with that question is they begin selling themselves and building the value back up. So the value took a little bit of a hit when they were unsure. So you now want to replenish the value a little bit by them saying what you want them to say, but they only say what you want them to say by asking a good question. They build the value back up. They build the value back up. So it's like, so what do you think? What would you like most about it? Then what is it that you're unsure of? If you don't mind me asking, real low key. Do you see that? If you don't mind me asking, what are you unsure of? If you don't mind me asking, what are you unsure of? Oh, just bad timing, or, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's like, cool. The purpose of these questions, ready? I would write this down. People don't need to understand you. They need to feel understood. People do not need to understand you. They need to feel understood. So what's happening is, by you asking these questions, by them talking, they're going to feel understood. So it creates a certain feeling for your customer. That's why you're asking these questions. So you want to create that feeling for them. So it's like, so what is it that you're unsure of? And then they'll tell you whatever they're saying. Oh, this bad time. It's like, God, and they're just going to talk. Here's what's crazy. You need to pay attention here. You will literally have customers talk themselves into a sale if you give them a chance to. You will literally have customers talk themselves into a sale. Yeah, I don't know. I have many relatives, and I have several that are just like that, where they're just like chatty Cathy's, where they say things like that. They just talk themselves into things. I'm that way. I have to like speak things. Sometimes they'll say, all right, coaches, I need a soundboard. Just don't say anything. Just talk. Jess is like the best soundboard. She doesn't say anything. She just sits there and it's like, yeah, good thought. She didn't even say good thought. She just nods. And I'm like, perfect. And then I literally will come up to my own conclusion just by talking it out loud. Right. So sometimes that's what your customers need. So it's like, let me ask you, if you don't mind me asking, what are you unsure of? They'll be like, oh, the price, we have the house, the roof, this and that and that. Oh, but it is only a monthly installment. Wait, let me see. How much is that? Let me see what it is. Maybe I can move things around. Like, You're going to like, what the psycho? No, that's they're processing. They're processing. You got to give them a space to do that. Part of dropping down is patience. Part of dropping down in closing is patience. So you just want to let them talk it out. Don't be so quick to respond. Chill like you're sitting in a hot tub. And another great question is, do you feel like it's like too many knives? Or do you feel like it's just like too much money? Another good question that's not on here. Do you feel like that monthly installment plan, like that 265 or that monthly number, do you feel like that is like a lot too much or just like a little too much? I feel like it's like a lot too much or just like a little too much? And for those of you that watched me do my demo, you literally saw me drop down and get 8 no's and land on $1,000 order. You watched it. For if you want, you can watch that recording. Okay. So let me come up for some air. There's 12 minutes of me talking. What showed up for you so far? What was a healthy reminder? What was something that you liked? What was a good just a healthy reminder before I go to the actual presentation? Now that you understand the concept of presenting the price, reacting to the unsure, and then transitioning with questions. What was a good reminder as far as presenting the price, reacting to the unsure, or transitioning with questions? Go ahead and you can hit me up in the chat and let me hear from one of you, one or two real fast, just one real quick. You could just unmute yourself. Who has something that you heard that you're like, you know what, that was a good reminder for me? Go ahead.
So, like, I think a good reminder is to kind of stay quiet, let them think for themselves, be confident, and chill in the hot tub.
Chill like you're sitting in a hot tub. Just sit quiet. Let them talk. Be patient. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand exactly what Ira just said. Your presentation begins when they say no. Your job begins when they say no. Everyone, if they wanted to just go buy Cutco, they could literally go to cutco.com and go buy it right now. They don't need you. I'll say that one more time. If they were going to go buy Cutco, they could go to cutco.com and just go buy the product line. They do not need you. If you want to be a personal shopping assistant, if you want to be a kitchen consultant, if you care about them at all, you want to guide them through the decision-making process. You want to guide them through the decision-making process. So you want to be a person of influence. There are 4 tools to influence. If you're on my alliance, you will learn this. There are 4 tools to influence. Write these down. There are 4 tools to influence. Number 1 is rapport. You must be in rapport with your client. That's the first tool of influence. So they trust you. The second tool of influence, you must ask questions. Questions are tools for influence. Be interested, not interesting. Ask questions so that way your customer can feel understood. Rapport, questions. Number 3 is state management. Your physiology, your focus, and your language, your state of the sales representative. You must be in a peak state. If you're like all slumped over and like your mindset and your focus goes to, here we go again, another fucking no sale, and if your words are all fucking wimpy, you could be in rapport and ask good questions, but your energy and your state sucks, and it's going to influence them in a negative way. So you must have a good physiology, body. You must have a good focus, your thoughts, and you must use strong words, sound confident. State management, third tool of influence. And number 4 tool of influence is personal congruency with your product or service. Personal congruency, meaning they get the better end of the deal than I do. They get the better end of the deal than I do. When they buy, they win more than me. Personal congruency with my product or service, you get more than me. That's why I feel like myself and Mr. Andrew Evans are pretty good vector managers, is because we believe that our people benefit more than we do. And we can show up as servant leaders for our people to give them more because we feel like they get more out of the deal than we do. When someone buys Cutco, we feel like they get a better end of the deal than we do. Personal congruency. Those are your 4 tools of influence. So if you know those, you can use those during the course of your drop down. Stay to your core with your body language and your focus and your words, and be in rapport. Never lose that rapport. Use questions to ask certain things to make sure they feel understood, and making sure that you understand and believe, like the sky is blue, the grass is green, that they deserve to own Cutco, and it's best in their best interest more so than your own best personal interest. Why is $1,000 better in their bank account than it is on their countertop? It's not. It's not. Not for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's not. It's not. So there's the personal congruency there. So hopefully, I know it's a little passionate tangent, but hopefully that was resonated a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's go to the actual site. I'll show you what this looks like on your demo. So now, doesn't matter where you're starting. If if we go and pick it up from the closing workshop. So the great thing is it's not 4,000, cross it off. It's not even 3,500. In fact, the ultimate set, the entire complete set of Cutco, everything we have is not even 34.35. You believe that? Our ultimate set is less than their homemaker set. Isn't that crazy, Miss Jones? Are you ready? The entire complete set of Cutco, ready? It's only $27.39. Go ahead and write that down. It's $551 a month, which is $138 a week out of the budget. And if you do that today, I can give you both the kitchen tools and the entertainer pack for free, whatever, right? So Ms. Jones, what do you think? I know you didn't plan on getting it, but what do you think? Do you want to go and get that complete set of Cutco today and get your free gifts? And I'll buy those for you today. Just by asking that question. And again, we went over this in the closing workshop. If you can show the ultimate, just like that, just showing it to them, and they'll be like, no. That's way too much. That's no. Then your response is, hey, what do we do? How do we respond? Smile and nod, 3 to 5 seconds. Hey, no problem. It's kind of cool to see what a good deal it is though, right? Like compared to the other brands. It's kind of cool though, right? Like you get this giant set for less money than their smaller set. Isn't that kind of cool? Just by doing that framework. What does that make the homemaker set look like? Small. Does everyone see? Just using the framework there. Small. Hey, it's kind of cool. See, right? So, hey, no problem at all. No problem at all. Let me go ahead and show you the set that you actually like. I know you said you really like the homemaker set, or I know you said you really like that the signature set. Let me just go ahead and show you. Let me go and show you what the prices look like for this. Okay, let me just go and show that one to you real fast. I love that phrase, by the way. Let me just go ahead and show this one to you real quick, just so you know. I love that phrase. I would write that, just so you know. Let me just go ahead and show this for you, just so you know. Let me just go ahead and show this to you just for fun. Just for fun, let me go ahead and show this one to you. Right, that's a great phrase. Lots of enthusiasm. Just for fun, let me go ahead and show this one to you. Now, coming back to what do we say? When you're dropping down, when you're transition, you react, you transition with a couple of questions, okay? Now, I love using their responses to be able to show them the next option, okay? Use their responses to show the next option. So this is the part of dropping down that there's so many different scenarios that can happen. So I need you to stop, look, and listen. There are several different scenarios that can happen. And by the time you do your 50th demo during this push, you should be able to have a good plethora of examples. The best coaching and learning that's going to happen during this push is every time you have a scenario, you talk to someone above you who sold more Cutco than you and ask them, how do you handle that scenario? So that way, when that scenario takes place, you have a tool to add to your book. There's probably about a dozen to a dozen and a half scenarios that you can go down between, like dropping from an ultimate down to the homemaker, dropping from an ultimate down to the signature, showing this ultimate set, buying the kitchen tool set and buying the entertainer pack and getting something else for free. There's buying the signature set with the kitchen tool set, buying the homemaker with the kitchen tool set and the entertainer pack called the kitchen system, right? Like there's so many different scenarios that are in there that it could be a little confusing. So that's why I'm teaching you philosophy versus specific process, because I'm not going to give you this exact script today. I'm giving you the process. If you could understand the process, then no matter where you are, you can do the exact same process no matter where you're at in your closing process and in the closing and the dropping down in the dropping down. So here's we go. I didn't want to say process again because I said it 17 times. So if you caught that. All right. So so right here, if you're starting with the ultimate set, you transition, no problem. Boom, you react and you respond, you show the homemaker set. So even if you just did that, show the homemaker set. Does that work? How does that one sound? You present the price. And again, I really like to use the website to present the price, add it to the wish list, pull it up on the screen so they can see it. Now, again, if they're unsure, stop, look, and listen. You want to use whatever their response is to explain to them why the next option is going to be better for them. For example, if you watch my demo, yeah, now you all know this one, right? You all know this one. So you're not going to carve a turkey every day, right? No. It didn't want to make sense to spend money on items you wouldn't use. If you watch me sell them off the ultimate set, which shows you're not going to use like a salmon knife every day, right? Do you really need? Do you think you could buy with one paring knife instead of two? I love that phrase. I would write that shit down. You think you could get by with one chopping knife versus three, right? Or do you think you could buy with two chopping knives versus three? You're not gonna cut a coconut every day, right? Nah. Then it doesn't make sense to spend money on items you wouldn't use all the time. Do you see that? So you're just selling them off the previous one. You're selling them off the previous one using their response. Ready? You're not going to carve a turkey every day, right? No, then it doesn't make sense to spend money on items you won't use all the time. So let me show you this next option. So this is the transition to the galley set. But if you're transitioning from the signature set, right? This is, I sent this into the Coast chat. See, if the signature set was the favorite, ready? It shows the signature set's awesome. It's amazing. It's a fantastic set. So let me just show you what a lot of people do. See, what they do is they start with the homemaker set and they use their free Cutco, the bonus, to get a few of the customer favorites now and add the rest on later. That saves them a ton of money and gets them exactly what they would use most. So out of the shears or the 3 customer favorites, which 2 do you feel like you would use the most? Okay, you feel like you would use the cheese knife and the shears? Great. Let me show you this next option that might work a little bit better for you and your family, since it's a few less knives, but it's a lot less money, right? So that would be if you're transitioning from a signature set, like here, your signature set, to the homemaker set. So this would be a process where if you started with the signature set, which a lot of you could easily do, you start with the signature set and you say, out of the cheese knife, the mini chopper, the hearty slicer, and the super shears, out of those 4, which 2 would you use the most? Which 2 would you use the most? That one? Okay. Then why don't you do what most of my customers do? They'll get the homemaker set and I'll bonus them for their free items to those 2 items. Let me show you what that price is. And it brings the price, by the way, it brings your price down from $2,000 to like $1,300. It's a really good deal. It's a large swing. It's a great option. It's a great option. So that could be an option. So what we're doing is we're selling them off the previous one and selling them on to the next one. If you're starting with a homemaker set, if you're like nervous about the ultimate signature, no sweat, you start with the homemaker. Say, you're not going to carve a turkey every day, right? No, then it doesn't make sense to spend money on items you wouldn't use all the time. Check this out. This set here is called the galley. It's a few less knives, but it's a lot less money. Look at this. It still comes with blank, blank, blank. So what are we doing? Every time we drop down, we build up the next option. Why the next option is going to be a great option for them. You build up the next option, why the next option might be perfect for them and their family. And then what do we do when we present the price? We say, so let me show you what you get. You review the prices, you review the items of the set. Instead of it being $1,300, it's only going to be the price here. 5 payments, weekly price of this. You still get this. I'll still buy you this if you do it today. How does that one sound? Does that work for you? No? How do we respond to the no? Hey, smile, nod, no problem. Ask. It's a pretty good deal though, right? It's kind of cool. There's all these other options, isn't it? Yeah. Then here's your transition from the galley set to the starter sets. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this. This is critical. You want to ask questions that guide your customer. Which one tool from the galley would you use the least? Which one tool from the galley would you use the least? And would you use a block? And you'd use the table knives, right? How many? Okay, great. So watch. Which one tool would you use the least? Probably the fork. Okay, would you use a block? Yeah, maybe. And you'd use the table knives, right? The ones that cut the leather? Yeah, how many? 5? Okay, cool. So no fork, 5 table knives, and a block. Let's see. So we have a couple of different options. Now this is a set with 5 table knives in a block, but it has the fork, so probably might not be the best option. This one here has 4 table knives, but I could buy you a 5th one, no fork, and a block. That might be a good option. Then we have this here's the next one here is called the Space Saver set. This one, no fork in a block, and we could do a set of 5 table knives that you could put in the drawer. This one has a fork and a tray, probably not. This one, no fork in a tray, but we could add the 5 table knives. So you tell me, out of those sets, which combination do you like the best? So what am I doing? I'm taking their questions, I'm taking their answers to these questions to show them the options. And then I give them the price on just the one option. Give them the price on just the one option. Okay. Then if that doesn't work, custom set transition. It's like, Ms. Jones, it's nice to see all the, before we go to the transition though, we got to respond. No problem, right? You know, smile and nod, no problem. It's a pretty good option though, right? You did like Cutco though, right? Yeah. It's kind of cool, right? Isn't it? Yeah. It's nice to see all the different options, isn't it? Yeah. Most of the time when someone gets started with Cutco, they do a custom package and we could still offer them something for free. Let me show you the next option. And then you could do a custom set with them, which is you just follow the rest of the training script there. I'll give you one small little advanced thing. This is more for like my 20K plus reps that I think you'll like. If you know they like a starter package, instead of dropping down to a custom set, one of the things you can do is ask this question. Ms. Jones, Cutco makes the world's finest knives, not the world's finest block. You're not going to cook with a block every day, right? So if we take away the block, can I just show you what that price would look like? So it's the same thing as a custom set. You're doing like the buy 4, get 1 free or whatever, but that way you're still on the same package and you just sell them off the block or the storage. You just essentially sell them off the block, right? As if it's an essentials or a studio set or a space saver set for those 3 specifically. So it's like, I mean, Cutco makes the world's finest knives, not the world's finest blocks. You're not going to be cooking with a block every day, right? No. Can I just show you the price of that same set without the block and we could just put it in a tray? And then you just do like a buy 4, get 1 free, give them the tray for free, and it's the exact same thing as a custom set, but it doesn't seem different. It seems the same. And because sometimes people get confused and a confused mind says no. So it's a really cool little strategy there. So just to kind of wrap up here, as far as what we went over today, dropping down, the philosophy of dropping down, presenting the price, reaction, transitioning, and using the responses to show the next option. We got presenting the price properly, reaction to the unsure, transitioning with questions. And again, if you want to listen, if you're starting with a signature set, I posted in the chat the response, like how I would handle from this transitioning from the signature set to the homemaker set to the galley set and then to the starter sets. I also just went through how to use their responses to transition from the galley to the starters to the custom sets. And that is how you drop down. That is how you show every option. And then, of course, you just follow the rest of the training manual. Everything else is laid out in there. Nothing changes when you get to the custom set and selling the individual pieces. All of that, you all know how to do all of that already, you know, because many of you sell custom, like individual pieces fairly often. But when you start at a higher number, you can position yourself to land on a higher number. Go ahead, post on WhatsApp. I want you to post on WhatsApp this time. Go through your biggest takeaways. Post on WhatsApp your biggest takeaways from this workshop this morning. And then we're going to have our office managers facilitate a phone jam. Assistant managers are going to go to my Zoom. We have our assistant manager meeting. And I'm excited to connect with you all. So let's go ahead and post your biggest light bulbs to the WhatsApp chat. Ladies and gentlemen, this alliance is going to be really great. I'm really excited for you. I would watch this recording. I would watch the previous boot camps that we've done. Hone and refine your skill set in between appointments. Never get complacent. Continue to get better. Continue to show up. And during each Alliance morning, we're going to keep reviewing this stuff. We're going to have boot camps every single day on how to sell more Cutco and how to do a better job. So continue to show up. Continue to role play. Continue to practice. Continue to learn. And most importantly, continue to do appointments, because nothing matters if you're on the bench. You got to get into the field. You got to get into the field and do a lot of appointments, continue to get a lot of recommendations, continue to get a lot of phone numbers so you can keep trying to use what we're learning. By week 2 of your push, week 2 of SC2, because week 1, you do 15, 20 appointments. By the time week 2 rolls around, you're going to be a freaking stud and you're going to be ready to drop a 10K week 2. Mark my words. You follow my lead. You follow Mr. Andrew Evans' lead, you'll be dropping some serious bombs week 2 of SC2 push. Week 1, hey, we're just going to do a lot of appointments, kind of get the kinks out, start feeling things out, which is great. By week 2, boom, you're going to get that rhythm going, and that will be the largest sales week of your entire career if you approach this the right way. And then the rest is history. Life will never be the same again. All right, everyone. Enjoy. Let's hit the phones. Let's